I completely failed myself in my 20s. I am 31 years of age now, turning 32 this year. But looking back on my life in my 20s, I realized how much time I just wasted on partying, drugs, playing video games all the time. And I didn't have any like goals or ambitions in my 20s. Yeah, I wanted to finish university. But then after that, get a job and make money. But I wasn't passionate or truly passionate about anything except for one thing, which was the gym. I've been consistent in the gym for like over a decade now, and that actually saved me from depression. It saved me from thinking irrational thoughts. It saved me from a lot of stuff. Like it improved my self-esteem, my confidence. But the thing is, in my 20s, there are things that I did in my life that I regret, and there are some things in my life that I don't really regret, and I think it's just part of everyone's story. But I feel like if I were to go back, I wouldn't waste so much time on certain things. I wouldn't waste so much time trying to impress people, buying the latest brand name clothing. I wouldn't I if I were to go back in time, I would not do that anymore. I would not do that at all. If I were to go back in time, I would invest my money early. I would have financial goals. I would learn an actual like valuable skill, like plumbing or like being an electrician. And the thing is, it's not like I can't start that now in my 30s, but in my 20s I have more time. I don't have that mental pressure, you know. But now that I'm in my early 30s, I can feel the pressure, man. I can sense that pressure, and it's not just because everyone else around me that's my age is achieving certain milestones in their life, like getting married or having kids and stuff like that. It's not even just that. It's just like just a feeling inside that when you get older, you just feel like time is going by a lot faster, which it actually is in reality. When you think about it, it actually is. But when you get older, time does fly by. And now that I'm in my 30s, I'm a lot more aware of what I should spend my time on, and I also value my time a lot more compared to when I was in my 20s. In my 20s, I would just hang around with whoever and whenever. It was 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., someone's calling me, yo, let's hang out, let's go chill out. I would right away just go out there and hang out with that person. If it was with a girls messaging me, hey, let's hang out at like 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I know that I have work the next day, I would still go and see her. I would still go out there, waste my precious time of an opportunity to sleep and get and reset my body and mind for that girl. And I think a lot of the time that I wasted was also in my relationships with people, and with like girlfriends, like past exes. A lot of the times I knew that I needed to get out of a relationship, but I just stayed in one. I stayed in a relationship that was toxic a few times, not just once. And it was mostly just because out of lust. It was mostly out of feeling bad for the other person. I didn't want to abandon the other person, but it was still a very toxic relationship, and it was affecting my overall mental well-being. But at the end of the day, I learned a lesson. I learned these things. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about relationships. I learned a lot about women. And if I were to go back in time, which is obviously technically not possible, I would try to end the relationship a lot sooner with certain people. I wouldn't try to. It's not even just with dating. I would try to end relationship with friends who I know are not my true friends, who are not genuine, who just wanted something from me, or they weren't they weren't uplifting me. They weren't supporting me in my goals and ambitions. I wouldn't post so much pictures of me traveling and going out and constantly posting all the time, wherever I was doing, instead of working in silence, instead of just like enjoying my happiness with people that I love and care about, like my family and my close friends. I wouldn't publicly post 1,000 pictures online for people to see, for people to comment, for people to, random people, and just to gain validation and shit like that. I wouldn't do that at all. And now that I'm in my early 30s, I've completely deleted most of my social media. I don't have Instagram. I don't have a lot of other accounts, except Facebook for just to contact close family and friends, and just, just to stay in contact, but I rarely ever use that as well. And I started posting less and less, and it just made me a lot happier, because when I shared my experiences, my travels, my memories with people, it is more genuine, because I can meet them in person and actually show them the pictures on my phone of what I did, and I can see the genuine reaction on their face, compared to just posting digitally online all my pictures for just people to see that maybe I've only spoken to once or twice in my life, and they know what I'm up to. They know like a lot of stuff about me, and my life just feels less private. I feel like I'm basing my self-worth off of others, when I used to post a lot. And it's so funny when I go on Facebook and I look at the past statuses that I've had when I was in high school. They were just ridiculous. I would post just like any thoughts that I had in my mind, I would just post it, and I would just expect a reaction from somebody, or just constantly seeking attention. And I noticed that I was getting addicted to it. I was getting addicted to these platforms: Instagram, Snapchat, all of these tools, social media tools. I kept using and using and using and abusing. And I also was not able to be disciplined with it. I wasn't disciplined with my sexual urges. I wasn't disciplined with, my screen usage back in my 20s. I wasn't. I just freely used everything that was given to me. But I did not give it a limitation. But now that I'm in my early 30s, I give everything a limitation. I give a limitation to the people that I talk to my social dynamic, my social interaction with people, because I also value my free time to myself. I give a limitation to the amount of video games that I play. I give a limitation to my screen time. I limit the, amount of energy that I give out, and the amount of energy that I take in from my surroundings. I'm constantly processing and thinking about strategically what I need to do next. And you know what? It's making me feel a lot happier inside. I maintain the habit of going to the gym at a consistent rate. I maintaining eating healthy, having nutritional foods, single ingredient foods. I'm valuing I limit who I talk to online, what I post online. I limit it. And that has made me feel so much better about myself. And I feel like I'm in more control of my life and the trajectory that I'm heading towards. And, I feel like a lot of us, maybe we are at different stages in our lives. Maybe in our 20s, we don't experience all of these failures, and we don't experience all of the partying until we get to our 30s. A lot of people are like that. But then there's going to come a point where you're going to have to change. There's going to come a point where your body cannot keep up. Your mind cannot keep up with the Joneses. It cannot keep up with the world around you. You're going to feel mentally drained and exhausted. You're going to be at your worst. And when you're at your worst, that's when you need to change. And if you're watching this, despite what age you are, I hope you are, whatever that you're doing in your life, you realize that you're going to have to change at a certain point, and you're going to have to get rid of all the bad habits that you've done in the past. And you also need to realize what you need to spend more time on. That's valuable. That will benefit you. That will uplift you. That will level you up in life. And the thing is, do not compare yourself to others, because even now, I still tend to compare myself to people. It's just a very natural thing to do. Especially since I'm a guy, I feel like I'm constantly comparing myself to other dudes who are, who lift in the gym, or if I see someone that's bigger, or maybe I'm assuming, oh, maybe he's on steroids or something like that. Or I see someone who's driving fancy cars and stuff like that. Despite the fact that, I don't know their story, and my life is my life. But, it's just a natural thing to compare yourself. But you should not let that get to the best of you. You shouldn't let that affect your happiness. You shouldn't let that infect your mind. You should just think about it and let it go. Think about it and let it go. And honestly, man, as you get older, man, you really just start to value life. You really start to value the present moment. You really start to value the people who are still in your life. You really start to value them more. You really start to value what they have to say. You value the conversations that you have with them. Like, for example, I really value me talking to my parents, my mother and my father. And whenever I hang around with them, I always try to stay in the present moment. I don't use my phone when I'm around them. I listen to what they have to say. I joke with them. We need to share these memories with them because no one's going to be there forever. They're not going to be there forever. And you want to have positive memories that you had with them. You don't want to forget, or you don't want to remember that, oh, you were on your phone when you were talking to your dad or your mom, and then the next day they weren't there anymore. You don't want to have that thought in your mind. You want to remember the conversations that you had with them. You want to remember the moments that you share with them, the places that you traveled with them, the beautiful memories that you've had with them. And it's not just with your parents, it's with your genuine close friends that you may still have in your life. You want to be in the present moment. Stop always posting selfies with them. Stop always posting the videos and recording on your phone of the concert or the beach all the time. Stop doing that. Be in the present moment. Spend the day just chilling at the beach and looking and staring at the sun until it sets. Don't record the entire sunset, man. Because you're not in the present moment. You're not truly enjoying the time that you have in your life. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time recording that shit on your phone because, number one, if you post it online, a lot of people will not really care. They'll just look at it and they'll scroll away. And number two, you're going to look at that video on your phone, right, after you're done recording, and you're going to realize, like, what the hell did I just do? Like, I was there. Why do I need to record it? I was there in the moment. I could feel the sun gleaming against my skin. I could feel the warmth. Why was I recording it? Because when you're recording, you're looking at the screen because you're trying to angle it correctly, but you're not directly looking at what you're recording. You're kind of multitasking back and forth. You may look and you may look at your screen. You're going to look at the actual thing and you're going to look at the screen. So you're not technically there. You're there, but you're not technically there. If you understand what I'm trying to say. So guys, the point is, man, do what you love doing. Be in the present moment. Try not to waste your time. And if you're in your 20s and you're watching this, man, bro, start to take your life seriously, man. Don't listen to people's advice saying like, hey, you got all the time in the world, man. Life is just your playground. No, man. Start taking your life seriously, man. Start prioritizing certain things. Prioritize your health. Prioritize your mental health, your physical health. Prioritize the money that you make, man, because money will give you freedom eventually. I used to have this mentality that money doesn't buy you happiness, that money is the root of all evil. No, the lack of money is the root of all evil. And your relationship with money is what matters. It's what's most important. You should never let money get to the best of you. You should never let money get to your head. But money should be used as a tool to give you the freedom that you desire. The money should be used as a tool to give back to others. Right? That's how it should be. And you shouldn't let money affect your ego. You shouldn't let money change your personality that you may think you're better than everyone else once you start making a bit of money. Because if you're like that, then you're falling down a very dark path. You're falling down a very lonely path. Because you may be around people who are just as successful, but they're gonna be fake. They're not gonna be genuine. They're not gonna be your genuine boys, your genuine friends. They're only there because you're rich. They're only there because you guys share material wealth. There's no other commonalities aside from that, right? So when you're with people and you're trying to build with them, for example, like your friends, and you're trying to become financially successful, remember your priorities, man, and remember that your relationship with money, right? That it should be used for a tool for freedom, and you shouldn't let it affect your ego, But yeah, essentially, like, these are the things that I wanted to put out in this video. I know I said a lot of different things, but if it resonates with you, please give a like comment, or subscribe, or whatever. And yeah, I appreciate you watching this video. See you next time.